But he does state that Allah removes the heaviness of servanthood, its depressive quality. And he establishes two conditions for traveling the path from oneself toward the self of Allah. These two conditions are the outer practice of Islam and the literal inner meaning of Islam, surrender, taslim. The aspirant must believe in the truth of Muhammad's message, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and also he must unconditionally embrace within himself or herself whatever affliction descends upon him or her. This unconditional embrace of the affliction that descends must occur because nothing happens except through the will of Allah Ta'ala. And here Al-Baqli quotes Al-Qushayri, who says, La Buddha min talaqqil mahalik biwajhin dahiq. You must accept all perils with a smiling face. I'm running out of time. We've had to shorten our presentations, and so I would like to conclude, if I'm correct. All right. I would like to conclude in this way. On the journey from self-awareness to awareness of God, Sufis have traditionally glossed the saying, Man arafa nafsahu faqad arafa rabbahu. Whoever knows his self or herself knows his or her Lord. They've traditionally glossed this as, man arafa rabbahu, man arafa nafsahu fanin faqad arafa rabbahu baqin. Whoever knows that their self is perishing knows that their Lord subsists, knows that their Lord remains. Awakening on this journey from self-awareness to awareness of God, the self begins by being preoccupied with other than Allah, being preoccupied with dun Allah, ghayr Allah. Here the self is known as the commanding self, the Nafs al-Ammara. When we awaken to this delusion, the self strives to become aware of itself as an abd, as a servant of Allah. And it fulfills the obligation of ubudiyya, the huquq al-ubudiyya, the obligations of divine servanthood, among which are knowledge of God, ma'rifah, and gratitude to God, shukr. These are, of course, obligations that go beyond those in the Sharia. At this stage, when the self has woken up to its sorry state, it is called the blaming self, the Nafs al-Lawwama. Through discipline, mujahadat, surrender, taslim, and divine mercy, rahmah, the self comes to be aware of Allah and filled with the love of Allah. This is the stage of the self at peace, the nafsul mutma'inna. Thus, true awareness of oneself as a servant of Allah Ta'ala, true awareness as the microcosm, the mir'at al-haq, the mirror of reality. This true awareness brings about a knowledge of Allah as one's Rabb, as one's Lord. As Ruzbahan al-Baqli states, whoever knows himself in servanthood knows his Lord in lordship. Man arafa nafsahu bil-ubudiyya faqad arafa rabbahu bil-rububiyya. After this, through awareness of Allah as Rabb, as Lord, one's awareness of self, one's awareness of nafs will pass away, and the only and only awareness of Allah will remain. In Buckley's words, and I quote, "They will drop away through witnessing God, Allah Ta'ala, as Lord. The real will remain, al-haq, and there will be no trace of the servant in the midst." Then citing the Quran, Al-Qasas, Surah Al-Qasas, Ayah 88, Buckley concludes, "Everything perishes except for the face of God. His is the command, and to Him you will return. Kullu shay'in halik illa wajhahu lahul hukm wa ilayhi turja'un." Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Thank you very much.